What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Tell the Truth. It's game week, guys. We have a real game that counts. There's no preseason, no playing the second string, third string, trying to see who's making the practice squad. Now it's about the time for those that start actually going in the win and loss column. And we are so excited. Obviously, yours truly, D Mac DG. We'll be joined by CJ a little bit later on. I'm just glad that football is back. The Chiefs are about to drop another banner. I had to wear the 2019 championship in the
Right.
Mahomes jersey, of course, man. Whew, it's that time, DG. How you feeling?
Yeah, man. Football is back. No more talking about who's gonna be CB2. No more talking about who's starting at left tackle. No more training camp videos. No more watching them run around in shorts and in shirts and stuff like that. Yeah, so definitely glad it's back, man. The real fun begins. Week one, right, start off right with a banger against the Ravens, AFC Championship rematch. So ready, man. Ready to see what's gonna be to this season. Can we get the three-peat done? Can we go somewhere no team has ever been before?
Yeah, man. Look, this is about history, about the ability to do something like you said that nobody's ever done before. Obviously, I know that the Packers, won three straight, before uh,
That
before
was
anybody was paying attention
that was
to
ancient
football.
time. It's
Yeah,
playing with leather helmets now.
yeah, yeah. Nah, that doesn't matter whatsoever. The games wasn't even on tape delay; they were barely filming them at that point. Okay, uh, that doesn't matter. No, it's about the Lombardi trophies, and nobody's ever won three before. And the Chiefs are positioned in a place in which they have the ability to do so. At this point, you look at the roster. Obviously, was finalized last week. This is a team that I truly do believe is only possibly derailed by injuries. They have every element that you need from a coaching standpoint, from an offense standpoint, from a defense standpoint to complete what would be a historical feat. And it starts Thursday night. First, the Ravens in Arrowhead, banner being dropped. Rob Riggle, comedian, doing the drum beat and everything, tailgating the whole 9 yards. Looking forward to it, man. Everybody will be watching as the Chiefs kick off the season. But before we get into all of that and the actual game previews, and we'll do a little bit of predictions for the season later on, we did have a bit of news in between now, or I should say when we last talked, and obviously the 53-man roster being finalized. We did have the Chiefs make an acquisition, Mr. Samaje Perine, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals, most recently of the Denver Broncos, now a Kansas City Chief, and ultimately a move that obviously was needed. Carson Steele was, a camp darling, a preseason guy that came in and played very well for us, but he's not somebody that you necessarily rely on as far as the running back two spot. Fortunately, now bringing in P. Ryan, a guy with pass catching experience. He's actually one of the most efficient pass catchers in all of football, even last year. Excellent pass blocker, understands what to do from that standpoint, and can give you a little bit in the run game as well. He's not a negative in that. He can do it just fine. To spell Pacheco specifically on passing downs, I think is incredibly important, and obviously becomes more important now that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was placed on the non-football injury list as well. Still working through some of those post-traumatic stress disorder things that he opened up about early in training camp. So, DG, talk to me how you're feeling about Samaje Perine and how he fits into the overall running back room and how you feel about that group now.
Yeah, man, I love it. Like I said, Veach always figures out a way to just drop a little gift, a little gem on us, every once in a while. But yeah, I love it from a schematic standpoint. They really needed a guy that could do some of the dirty work and not have to put so much pressure on a Pacheco or a Carson Steele, who's a rookie, have to do some of those things on third down. I feel like this kind of, in a sense, gives them that guy that plays that Jared McKinnon role for them. A guy who's an elite pass catcher out of the backfield as the running back position goes. We've seen him come into our place in 2021 and pretty much devastate us with a screen that he took to the house in that championship game. So Samaje Perine is definitely a veteran in this league, a guy who knows how to do his job and do it very well. I feel very confident putting him out there, at least on third downs in this early tenure that he has with the Chiefs right now, just to kind of alleviate some of that pressure, like I said, from some of those younger guys to not have to, maintain that job as well too. And I think it just gives Andy Reid another weapon to kind of work with. I can't really wait to see what he can do in the screen game for us. I think it's going to be real pivotal down the stretch, especially just to help us out in the passing aspect of our offense. So excited to have him here. Um, like I said, veteran guy, and I think that they can really lean on and trust as the season goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I think that the funny thing about it is if Samaje Perine had gotten cut early in the offseason and the Chiefs ended up signing him for what is basically league minimum, which obviously we have now, I would have, all the consternation about this throughout the offseason wouldn't have been a thing. Me having an issue with the running back depth would not have been a question mark because he is exactly what you need to fit in this room next to Isaiah Pacheco. You didn't need some, high drafted rookie. You didn't need some high priced running back to come in no matter what Josh Jacobs wants to believe in his head that Brett Veach was going to spend on him to come in and take over that room. No, you just need a guy that was good in pass protection, good as far as catching the ball to complement what Isaiah Pacheco brings to the table as your lead back. And ultimately, that's what Samaje Perine is. And that's why I'm extremely excited to have him in Kansas City. Obviously, CEH taking a step back and fortunately getting a lot of support to do so. We'll see what exactly happens from that standpoint as things move forward. But, for right now, and specifically as this 4-week stretch and however long it may, extend, I'm very happy with what the running back room ends up looking like as well.
Yeah.
And so obviously Samaje Perine being signed is one thing. Nick Jones and Bailey Zappi ended up on the practice squad as well. And I think that's worth noting, at least from the Bailey Zappi standpoint. Mr. Chris Aludicon did not end up making it as well. What's up, CJ? How's it going?
What up, gang? Fantasy draft done. I'm about to win that. Blame Sosa. This is all his fault. He moved the draft from 8 to 8:30. I'm like, you would do this on the night I'm recording. You would move the draft.
You better win. And
I'm
there's
gonna
better be some good money.
And you know why I'm gonna win? I got Mahomes, bro. It's the first time I ever got him. I finally got Patty. I'm gonna win that.
At least it was worth it.
It's a good opener. Yeah, I got Patty and I got Harrison Butker. I'm winning, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm winning now.
There you go. Tell us about Samaje Perine and how happy you are to have him in Kansas City.
Oh, I mean, we called that a week ago, fellas. You feel me? We already knew that was going to happen. The minute when you said he was actually on the block, I was shocked because I didn't think Denver would actually let him go. He's probably the second best running back on the roster they have behind. Well, Javonte be hurt, so for me, he's number 2. But I've always loved Samaje Perine, even back at Oklahoma. He's a great third down back. He can catch the ball. Great in pass pro as well. Like he's easily the best RB2 situation you could ask for. For when we were talking about all summer, if a guy gets cut or if a guy's available who gets like hurt or doesn't make a roster, that's like the best case scenario. Because I never thought he would actually make it to free agency or even to the market where he would be available. So the fact that he was in there and we got him, it's a swing and knock it out the park for Veach. I love that pick. That's like the best thing you could ask for.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that.
He cooked us a couple of times. So I'm glad he's on our side. Yeah, he knocked out Snead out of a game, caught a big third down. I was tired of playing. I'm glad he's on our team.
Yeah, absolutely. We all remember when he. Never mind.
I remember.
Never mind. I don't want to get blocked, bro. I don't want to get blocked, bro.
That was back when Nick Bolton was wearing 54 and
54.
Dan Sorensen was getting significant snaps as a safety. And Travaris Ward couldn't tackle anybody. So yeah, good time.
Samaje Perine with that XL size helmet, bro. Just knocking. I'm like, bro, why he can't get him on the ground, bro? I swear, every time he caught a third down, we couldn't tackle him. I swear to God. I was like, bro, he just breaks tackles.
He's got the helmet size to match his beard.
XL size helmet. No Diddy, but his legs is like this, bro, like tree trunks, like no Diddy. But he a big dude, bro. So imagine you got to tackle Pop, and then you got Perine running at you a third down. You ain't making that tackle, bro. You got one dude who run crazy hard and one of the hardest running backs in the league for like tier 2 guys. So it's a perfect combo, and they both can catch on third down. I love it, bro. I love it.
And then every once in a while, Carson Steele at fullback, just
Hey, you get a little reverse. You got the veer fullback dive, reverse dive. You know what I'm saying? Still get jiggy. I love the room, and then Clyde can come in whenever. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's an upgrade on what I felt like they needed in the running back room because that was a place of depth that it was a concern. You can get by with Samaje P. Ryan as your starting running back for a time if you need to, and if CEH would come back. Those are you just need a floor that those guys can bring to the table, and that's what he does. So fortunately, he is coming to Kansas City. We're going over a little bit of the recent transactions. Nothing too crazy that happened. They brought back Imani Bailey to the practice squad. They also added Marlon Tuipulotu to the practice squad and apparently elevated him after CH went on the NFI list. So he's going to be a part of the active 53-man roster. We'll see who exactly is active. We do know, unfortunately, that Hollywood Brown will be out for this game, as Andy Reid confirmed earlier today and pretty much has said for the past week or so, which is a departure from how he normally handles things. And so Hollywood Brown seems to be the only guy that will be out for this game. As the Ravens seem to have a pretty healthy squad coming into this. We have a healthy squad coming into this outside of obviously Charles Omenihu, significant contributor who will start the season on IR as well. So all that being said, it is really just looking at the game at this point and talking about what we're looking for on both sides of the ball. Obviously, this is a rematch of the 2023 AFC Championship game, a 17-10 low-scoring game in which the Chiefs won and led wire to wire, despite some people saying that the Ravens apparently beat themselves, which I've never heard of a team not ever having the lead beating themselves, but sure, that could happen, I suppose. And the Chiefs ended up getting that road win, the first road win in Patrick Mahomes, or second road win in Patrick Mahomes' playoff career, to go to the Super Bowl, in which they eventually hoisted the Lombardi Trophy. So, speaking, from a broad sense, obviously Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes are going to be the headliners going into this. This is not necessarily a legacy game for either of them, certainly not Patrick Mahomes. From you guys' perspective, let's talk about on offense, Chiefs' new look, new left tackle, Kingsley Suamataia, Xavier Worthy, speed being added into the offense, things of that nature. What are you guys watching first and foremost when the Chiefs have the football and going up against this Ravens defense that moved on from the defensive coordinator, has a new guy in there, has lost some pieces as far as the back end is concerned, and how are you guys looking at that matchup?
I love it, honestly, because every game last year, when we went into a big-time matchup against any good defense, we knew they were going to stack the box on us. We were going to see a lot of single high, and they were going to put 7-8-man boxing in front of us. So I don't know what the D-Mac just said because we couldn't push the ball downfield. So adding Xavier Worthy speed, adding with Hollywood Brown for the future, not necessarily Thursday, but that's just going to make guys I don't know, out of all the people who were the most excited about the additions we made to the receiver room, it was probably Pacheco. Pop's the most excited because now he's not really going to see too many stacked boxes. The days of us seeing a lot of too high that we did in our Tyreek Hill days and probably the year after are probably back this year just because you have to respect Xavier Worthy and Hollywood speed, especially when they're on the field together. And that's just going to make Rasheed and Travis Kelce's job so much easier. And I know me and DG are working on the betting show, but they got Travis Kelce's prop and Rasheed Rice's catches at 5.5. That's so disrespectful. They were getting that last year without this speed on offense. So now as you add Xavier Worthy, you're adding Hollywood Brown. That's just going to make their job easier. So anytime we get into the red zone, it's just going to make Pop's anytime touchdown prop go up. His heightened for scoring and getting into the green zone is going to make his job just 10 times easier because you can't play single high with this receiver core now. You just can't because Xavier Worthy is going to beat you over the top, or Hollywood Brown's going to beat you, and Justin Watson good for his 2 deep passes a game as well. So I'm just excited for the more normalcy we'll see on defense because you can't really stack the box with us no more. So third down, we kind of beat that stigma the last couple of years of us being more efficient on third down, especially when we get under center and run the football. But every now and then, Andy likes to be, or Nagy likes to be a little cute and run it out of gun. But when we get under the center and we run the football, this team is very hard to beat. And now that the speed element is back to this offense, when you play action, you have your Kelsey, you have your Rice plays when they get jiggy underneath to short the intermediate. It just makes everyone's job so much easier. And I know Pat, of all people, is the one that's the most excited because now you truly can't play any favorites when it comes to this offense. You truly have to play us honest. And I think that's the best thing for this offense, honestly.
Yeah, I would agree. It makes everybody's jobs a lot easier. I've been saying it for the last 2 years that this offense, even though they've had success and been able to win back-to-back Super Bowls, um, at the same time, it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been explosive. We've had to adapt and change ourselves a lot, or whatever. And I think that the Chiefs this year, this offense will be back to having fun again, and being able to push the ball down the field, being able to go out there and threaten defenses, and not have them in the same looks at all times. Not being so stagnant in the box. Whatever. Going to definitely make Isaiah Pacheco's life a lot easier. I think it saves years on Travis Kelsey's career as well too, and I think it opens up a lot of things for Rasheed Rice as well over the middle. What he can do for us. I think he's proud to have a big year as far as us being explosive again. You can't focus on one guy in this offense, especially when Hollywood Brown comes back. It's going to be tough to really stop him, especially when you got a best quarterback in the league back there with driving the car. So definitely excited this year to see what Andy can put together with all these weapons or whatever. I think we're gonna put up a lot of points this year.
30 ball.
Yeah. And look, it's going to be very fascinating. The Ravens did a really good job in the second half of the actual AFC Championship game, being able to mix up their looks, which again, Mike McDonald, there we go. Actual standard of defense and the way in which he was able to present sim pressures and things of that nature. You expect the Ravens will carry some of that over into this season, maybe not to the same level of effectiveness because McDonald is a very good defensive coordinator. And I expect the same for him moving on to Seattle. But this team is going to be physical. This team is going to be fast. They're going to be coming after you. They're going to challenge you a lot. And they're going to present a lot of different fronts as well. And that is where having obviously Creed Humphrey, newly minted, highest paid center in the league, being able to signal out to these guys, hey, we need to take care of this, game that's coming up, blitz, possible sim pressure, things of that nature. And fortunately, Joe Tooney being next to Kingsley Suamataia to take some of that mental pressure off of him and help him out from that standpoint is also extremely key to dealing with those situations. But I think there are opportunities for this team really to get after in the run game. I know that Roquan Smith said that it starts with stopping that run game and putting them in difficult situations, which is very standard. I don't think there was anything too crazy as far as that quote is concerned, but we have to be able to get some run game going and then set up the ability to go over top to Xavier Worthy. You have the ability to have both of those things in your offense. That means that space underneath for Travis Kelsey, for Rasheed Rice is going to be open when you need to take it. And obviously with Hollywood Brown being out, that means you're going to see a little bit more of Justin Watson as far as the passing game is concerned, or newly minted old friend alert, Juju Smith-Schuster back into the rotation as well from that standpoint. So as far as offenses, yeah, I literally earlier today I was like, I forgot Juju.
We forgot Juju. We got Juju.
I completely forgot that Juju was back. It slipped my mind, man. But shout out to Juju being back. It's very nice. And in a situation in which you're going to have Hollywood Brown out, Xavier Worthy, rookie, working in, having guys like Justin Watson and Juju Smith-Schuster being able to go in and establish a floor for your offense as far as wide receiver spots are concerned is important. And so it's nice to have those guys back. But Chiefs offense, Ravens defense, one guy on the Ravens defense that you are concerned about, one guy for the Chiefs offense that you are most excited to see or will be watching the most when this kicks off.
Go ahead, DJ.
One guy, I would probably, a lot of people would say the obvious would be Roquan Smith, but Justin Madubuike would be somebody who would be on my radar. A guy that can essentially destroy an interior offensive line if he really wants to. So definitely have I definitely think that they will have their game plan worked out for him. Definitely a guy who, like I said, can disrupt anything you have going on as far as the pass game or the run game as well too. All Pro had a great season last year. Was really an anchor for that defense last year, and so I expect him to do some of the similar things this year as well too for them. So yeah, definitely a guy I would circle for sure.
That was
and then you said what was the other part?
somebody as far as the Chiefs are concerned that you're very excited to watch?
I mean, I guess offensively, I guess the obvious for me would be Xavier Worthy, being able to, like I said, go out there and establish that speed, and give us like an element that we haven't had in our offense for the last 2 years back. It feels like kind of like a Thanos thing of getting one of those Infinity Stones back, uh, and getting back to full strength. So definitely excited to see him go out there and Matt Nagy have cooked up for him as well too.
CJ, what about you?
Yeah, Matt BK would have been the same one for me. If I had to pick somebody else, I'd probably say Kyle Hamilton, another All-Pro player, a guy that can disrupt anything on the back end for you. I know it was we had jokes about there were a lot of Ravens fans calling him the Kelsey stopper last year. That was funny. First drive kind of took him down the field and scored on him. So, but I mean, all jokes aside, Kyle Hamilton's an amazing player, one of the best safeties in football. 6'2", rangy guy that can go from sideline to sideline. Can play in the box, can play deep third if need be. Just an all-around good football player. If you need him to tackle in space, he can do those things. If you need him to cover, he can do that as well. So I know he's going to be taking this matchup very personally, given he gave up that touchdown on the first drive. So Matt BK will be my obvious choice, but after him, I definitely go with Kyle Hamilton on defense for the Ravens. On offense for us, outside of Zay, who am I most excited to see? That's tough. I'm going to say, I don't know, he may not play that much. I can't say him. I mean, just Rashee Rice, man. This second year, sophomore year. Obviously, people say sophomore slumps. I think he has a sophomore jump in this offense because, for all the reason we just named, his job just got 10 times easier. Obviously, he was one of our biggest red zone targets last year, and now his job is going to be even easier for him to get open in the red zone because if not, you're not Kelsey one-on-one. You believe he's everywhere in one of them deep crossers when we get into the green zone. We saw how the preseason game went. Touchdown. So I think of all the people on offense, I'd be excited to see just number 4, second year in the offense, more mature, more knowledgeable of the scheme. Him and Pat are already been on the same page from last year to this year. Even guarantee what the plays they made in the Super Bowl and in the AFC Championship game. Another year or 4 with Pat for years to come is going to be a good thing. So yeah, Rashee Rice probably the one I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, look, Rashee Rice is going to present a lot of really good options as far as quick passing game to get the ball in the hands and create yards after the catch. I think that he's in line to have a dang good season, like you said, the sophomore jump from that perspective. So he's going to be key. He's something we'll be getting into a little bit later on as far as that's concerned. But Ravens defense-wise, I think that it's a little bit niche from that perspective. But Trenton Simpson, a guy that's stepping in for Patrick Queen, who had a very good year next to Roquan Smith in that linebacker role. We know how the Chiefs like to put a lot of stress on the second level, whether that is running the ball with an excellent offensive line and obviously the physicality of Isaiah Pacheco, screen game and all the misdirection that they like to use, heavy personnel sets that make you put extra linebackers on the field and don't allow you necessarily to get extra DBs out there, and of course the play action game. So there are going to be a multitude of ways in which Trenton Simpson is going to be attacked. This is a very difficult task for him. Roquan Smith, fortunately, next to him will help, but that is the guy that I think that we can get after as far as the Ravens defense is concerned, and that's the guy that I'm going to be watching the most to see how Andy Reid chooses to attack him. As far as the Chiefs offense, you guys obviously took Xavier and Rashee Rice. I'm going to take the left tackle, Kingsley Suamataia. It's, again, something to where his athleticism, everything that you saw from him this preseason were encouraging signs. I think that he can have the ability to give us much better play than we got from left tackle last year. And I think he's probably going to end up landing at least at the same level, like at worst, as far as that is concerned. But this is a difficult matchup from the standpoint of he's going to be challenged from the mental side of the game, in addition to his ability, obviously, to anchor down at times. They don't have great edge rushers, but they do have guys that they're expecting to step up. This is going to be a challenge for him to deal with, and he's going to be the guy that I'm going to be looking at because this is really that first impression of facing live bullets, a full defensive scheme coming after you, a multiple defensive scheme from a sim pressure look to see how you deal with those things as well. So that's what I'm going to be looking at first and foremost, but it's going to be fascinating. And at the end of the day, 15 is going to have the ball a lot. So that's going to be always fun to see. So flipping sides as far as the Ravens offense is concerned versus our defense, of course, Steve Spagnuolo and Dave Merritt have kind of been non-committal about who's going to end up being cornerback 2. Sounds like it's going to be Jalen Watson or Joshua Williams to start out, and Najee Johnson will be working in accordingly. it's going to be fascinating to see how they work in the majority of this 4 safety room that they have. That sounds like they have a lot of confidence in Cook. Reed, obviously coming back, did not end up playing this preseason. Shamari Connor, and of course the rookie Jaden Hicks, who had an excellent preseason. So it's going to be fascinating to see how they attack a Ravens offense that is a little bit newly revamped, having added Derrick Henry. So first and foremost, what are you guys watching from a matchup standpoint when the Ravens have the football versus our defense?
Go ahead, CJ.
It's going to be a lot of run game. They bring in Derrick Henry to not give him the football, so I expect 22. That's his number. I expect him to be fed early and often. I think this is a big week for our safeties, like D-Mac said. Obviously, we're going to see a lot of Isaiah Likely and a lot of Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews been a little banged up. I know they put him on off the injury report, but I know he's been dealing with something since even last season as well. So I expect to see a lot of Likely, a lot of Mark Andrews on the field, so 2 tight end sets. So, and I love that. Like I said on our last episode, I love that matchup for us because the more we can get Jaden Hicks, Chamari Connor, those guys on the field, I think that's an advantage for our defense because, like we said, it takes the stress off our corners. You get more multiple versatile athletes in the middle of the field, guys that can tackle and cover if need be. So I think that kind of makes Spags and Coach Merritt's job a lot easier, given the fact we don't know who our significant CB2 is right now at the moment. But I think this week is a good matchup for them because outside of Zay Flowers, who I expect to see a lot of Trent McDuffie guarded on, I don't really have a good mismatch for them on offense, honestly. They have Rashard Bateman and Nelson Aguilar, both receivers who are inconsistent with their hands, neither guy who really catches the ball well in traffic. Both can make plays downfield if you bust a coverage here or there. But if anybody knows how to play against this offense, it is Spags and Merritt. We've seen these guys every year or even twice a year for the last 4 years now. So nobody knows the Ravens better than us outside of AFC North teams. We played them so much and so often. So it's going to be a good matchup for them. I'm excited. But it's kind of like what Roquan Smith said about us. We have to stop the run game. Lamar's going to make his plays with his legs when he extends the play out of a pass pro. And obviously, Derrick Henry's going to get fed early and often. So you have to get him in second and long, get him in those 3rd and 8s, and make him uncomfortable and let your pass rush home. I know they do have a brand new starting right tackle. So that's an opportunity for Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, whoever lined up on that right side, to take advantage of. But overall, yeah, expect to see a lot of 2 tight end sets, and they're going to run the ball. I don't expect them to come into Kansas City and make that same mistake twice. They left the AFC Championship game complaining about them not having enough rush attempts. I would bet both of y'all $50 the first 2 plays are handoffs. I'll bet money right now they're going to hand the ball off. They're going to run the ball early and often to try to set that tone and kind of get that stigma out of their mind that they can't run the ball against us. And I'm pretty sure Spags is preparing that for that as well. So they know we lost a couple of guys on defense, Snead being one of them. So I expect them to run the ball heavy and get a lot of play action off of that. So I think Derrick Henry's going to get a lot of touches, and so is Mark Andrews in the middle of that field. So I'm excited for the matchup. I love our safety group. Y'all know how I feel about them. It's going to be a good matchup for sure, but I'm excited to see what they do on Thursday.
Yeah, I think that they'd come out definitely established with their identity has been for the past couple of years, which is running the ball. And I know Derrick Henry adds a huge element to that as far as, putting a guy you would say that's been one of the better running backs in this league for for a while at this point. So yeah, I expect them to come out and establish those 2 tight end sets. And really see, if we're up to stopping the run. I think if we are be able to stop the box, then the game plan kind of switches to what we I feel like kind of goes into our favor, which is making Lamar have to make plays with his arm. And it's no knock against him or anything like that. Not saying that he can't do that or anything, but it's when you play teams like the Ravens, it's almost a pick your poison. And I think you would rather them have to beat you throwing the ball than have to beat you running the ball.
That 30 attempts line is the same number. When he throws the ball over or under 30 attempts, he's not the same quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. When they can establish the run, then then they can establish everything from RPOs, and then they really can start killing you, especially with Lamar's running ability as well too. So I don't think that that's something the Chiefs are really interested in getting into. So I expect them to try to come out and stop the run early on, and then try to make Lamar really beat them with his arm and his mind.
Yeah, look, I mean that it's what you guys said. This is coming down to being able to stop the run first and foremost. If you're able to stop the run, you can put them in difficult passing situations. It takes away the advantage that they can bring to the table. Having Isaiah Likely out there with Mark Andrews, limiting the wide receivers they have to have out there as well. you know what they want to do. They have a better run blocking, offensive line than they do pass blocking. I think there are question marks as far as being able to pass block and protect Lamar Jackson along that offensive line. CJ hit on them obviously having brand new right tackle, not going to end up being Roger Rosengarten, which is interesting. It's still going to be the other veteran that they brought in. Unfortunately, it's not his name escapes my mind at this moment. But they have a lot of turmoil as far as that offensive line is concerned. And I think that there are going to be plenty of opportunities to get after them pass rush. But you have to earn your right to rush the passer by being able to be stout up front. We saw some good snaps from Tershawn Ward, and I'd say during the preseason, encouraging snaps. We'll see how much Mike Pennell, playoff hero, ends up playing as well next to Chris Jones. And of course, we're going to give a heavy dose of these linebackers, Leo Chanel, Nick Bolton, and Drew Tranquil, especially on early downs, because of how much they had to, play with those heavy tight end, heavy personnel sets as well. So I'm going to be fascinated to see if they're able to stop the run, because they're going to be challenged too. We've never necessarily been the best run defense, but we build up in the playoffs. Is this going to be a playoff type of performance from that standpoint, or are we going to be a little bit leaky from that aspect? I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being leaky and the Ravens put up more points than they did in that AFC Championship game rematch as well. So as far as guys to watch on each side, and the Ravens offense, obviously that, concerns you. Our defense, I'll start out from the defensive perspective. I'm interested to see what happens with the safety room, because there's 4 guys, and I don't know how you're going to end up rotating all those guys in. It's going to be, I think, a lot of Shamari Connor getting nickel snaps, especially on those, again, early down looks that they choose to maybe not have all 3 linebackers out there, and they want to have a little bit bigger bodies. But Jaden Hicks played so well. Justin Reed's come back from injury. We know Brian Cook's also coming back from injury, but it looked like he was pretty spry during the preseason and training camp. Where do you find the snaps for those guys, in addition to obviously what the second cornerback room looks like, is what I'm going to be watching early on as far as that is concerned. And the Ravens offense, I mean, I could just stand on a pedestal and go with Lamar Jackson on a rant for days, but I'm not going to, because I really do love Lamar Jackson. I will say that I'm watching what they end up doing, specifically with Isaiah Likely, how much they want to use him, and specifically how much they want to use him in passing down snaps. Those really true, 3rd and 6 plus snaps, because he's a guy that makes a lot of sense when you're at 1st and 2nd down and you want to use the run pass advantage with heavy personnel. How much are you really going to truly use him as a pass catching weapon on those type of downs is going to be very interesting to see from my perspective. So, DG, go ahead. One guy you're watching on the Ravens offense, and then one guy you're watching on the Chiefs defense.
Yeah, I guess you say one guy I'm watching on the Ravens offense probably be a guy like Zay Flowers. Even though I feel like you have the matchup there to kind of keep up with a guy like him or whatever, still with the speed that he has and the things he can do once he gets the ball in his hand. I think you gotta kind of pay attention to as well. So that'd be the guy I would circle for me. You said a guy on our defense?
Yeah, on our defense, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guy I'd be really watching out for is a guy like George Karlaftis. 10.5 sacks last year. Had a really good sophomore year. I feel like he put a lot of stuff together. That maturation process really came together for him, and I kind of expect him to expound on that year that he had last year and kind of become one of the more feared pass rushers in this league. I think he has a really good matchup this week 1 against the Ravens tackles. I think that he can take full advantage of that. I hope to look to see him, win in a lot of his one-on-one matchups and give us that effort that we've seen, from the beginning of his career to now. So, yeah, George GK, definitely. Hopefully he gets a sack.
Oh, he
Go ahead, CJ. What are you watching as far as the Ravens offense is concerned, or one player watching the Ravens offense that concerns you, and then obviously the Chiefs defense who you're going to be watching?
Ravens offense, I'm gonna go. Yeah, probably we kind of really said everybody. Obviously Derrick Henry, and we said Likely and Andrews and Zay Flowers, but they're gonna feed him early and often. Like I said, they're gonna bring him in here to not give him the football. I think we'll contain him. I don't think he'll have a big game. Obviously, like D-Max hit to this point of us, we kind of start off leaky on run defense, and then we kind of build it up as the season goes on. But given the fact we know this team so well, and as we literally just played them in the AFC Championship game, so we know exactly what their game plan should be coming into this game. I don't expect them to come in here trying to not have their identity and try to be a pass-first team. I think they're going to establish the run early. Whether it works or it doesn't work, they're going to keep running the football. I think that's the mistake they made in January, is that they went away from the run, even when they were down 7 points, which with our defense felt like a lot because we had the best second-half defense in football. So I expect Darren Henry to get a lot of touches early and often. Power, heavy toss, dives. They're going to give him a lot of way counters, whether it be any way to get him going downhill quickly, because he tries to takes a while for him to pick up speed. When he gets in the open field, he's hard to bring down. To DG's point, he's a little older, a little long in the tooth, but still a good veteran running back who hits you hard and can get first downs and lean over. And if the Ravens stay in second and medium and third and short, it could be a long day for us. So if we can stop the run early, like D-Max said, it gives us the right to pass rush to where Karlaftis, Chris Jones can take advantage of some of the maybe not necessarily the most cohesive if they would have later on in the season with that old line group. Maybe we can kind of get a couple leaks through the cracks and get some sacks early to get Lamar pressured, get him a little rattled on the road, use that crowd noise to our advantage, maybe get a couple first false starts. So that would help us get them behind second and behind third and long. So that would help us out a lot on offense or on defense. Sorry. I would say I'm most excited. The safety room is obviously my favorite, but I'll say probably Drew Tranquil, second year here. Obviously, him and Spags are going to be in tuned. Obviously, if him and Nick Bolton obviously get another year together to learn each other, what they like, what they don't like, their strengths and weaknesses, they can play off of each other. We're going to see a lot more Drew this year, obviously, because Willie Gay is no longer with the team. He's in New Orleans. So I expect Drew Tranquil to be used a lot, especially if they want to go 2 tight end sets. He's going to see a lot of Mark Andrews, see a lot of Likely in the middle of the field. So he's great at coverage. So I love that matchup for us as well. Anything in the middle of the field, I'm really excited about, whether it be Drew in coverage, Hicks, Chamari, any of those guys. I love that matchup for us too. And I know Keaton Mitchell not being available for them is big because I know he's one of their more explosive running backs. So Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins are both gone as well. So it's going to be an interesting matchup to see what they do on third down, because I think if we get them into those 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 situations, that's an advantage to us. Given crowd noise, pass rush, athletes in the back end, in the middle of the field, I think that's an advantage for us for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned Drew Tranquil, just because it is important to highlight how important the linebackers specifically are at that second level, because they really keyed in and played the run at an extremely high level and essentially made it so that the Ravens didn't have a lot of design running back runs because of how difficult it was for them sledding as far as the first half was concerned. And, by that time they were behind in the game and trying to play catch up and didn't have a lot of avenues to go from that standpoint. So again, if you get them in that situation where they're a little bit more run dimensional, then you're exactly where you want to be from a defense. But again, got to earn that right by being able to stop the run on 1st and 2nd downs. So as far as the game is concerned, we're going to get to, the game picks. What are you going with? What's the score? And, X factors as far as that's concerned, one guy that you want to roll with. I'll start it out. I'm picking us kind of in a 28-24 type of game. I think both teams are going to be able to put up some points. I think it'll be a little bit of fireworks. But I do ultimately believe that Chiefs defense will find its stop, probably put them into a true passing down situation and get after him. Spags will do enough to close out the game. If he doesn't, then Patrick Mahomes will have a game-winning drive, because that's what Patrick Mahomes does. CJ, go ahead, man.
I'm going to go Chiefs 27, Baltimore. Ain't no other injuries outside of their linemen, like everybody else is playing? Like Aguilar, Rashard Bateman are all there? Okay.
Yep.
Likely playing. I'm going to go Chiefs 27, Ravens 23.
Okay.
We covered the spread barely, but we covered it.
Yeah. Week 1 is tough to pick, man, because you never know. So
it could be a shootout or ugly. It's
I'll say Chiefs 33, Ravens 27. I think it might be a little bit higher than we. Maybe both defenses make some adjustments at half, and it kind of turns into a little bit of slugfest down the stretch. But I think I think both offense. Especially think our offense is kind of ready to go out there and kind of make a statement
I
and
want to
put
say
some points
30.
on the board.
I want to say 30, but I'm being respectful.
I may be getting a little bit ahead of myself or whatever. As far as X Factor, I'll just go with my guy again, the X. Xavier Worthy, man. I think he's the biggest X factor you can have in this game, with his prolific speed. So I think that he has a big play somewhere in this game where it changes the direction of this game. That's for sure.
Okay. Hey, look, I'd love to see it. Obviously, Xavier has his first chance to have a real impression that matters as far as Chiefs Kingdom is concerned. First preseason game at home was a nice way to start it off, but now this one's going to count. So there are going to be opportunities for him to get deep. I think his longest reception at 20 and a half. That's one of the plays that I personally like. So we'll end up talking about that as well as far as bets. But now to shift gears because we didn't have a chance to really have any type of prediction show, and we're going to do it now because we have the time to. As far as around the NFL, I'm going to ask you guys just division winners, and we'll roll from there. We don't have to get into who you think on the Super Bowl because we know we think the Chiefs are winning it this year. I could speak for all three of us in that case. But yes, give me your AFC. I'll start it off. I'll give my AFC division winners, and then we'll go around as well. Obviously, the Chiefs in the AFC West shouldn't be that hard to figure out. I do think the Bills end up taking the AFC East. I don't. I think the Jets will be right there with them, and it's possible the Jets could end up winning it, but I'm not betting against Josh Allen. I'll have to see it first. AFC North. I do think that the Bengals end up winning the AFC North. I'm concerned about the Ravens' offensive line and a little bit of their defense taking a step back. And then AFC South, I'll take the Texans, even though I think the Colts will push them as far as that's concerned. DG or CJ, either one of you guys, give your AFC division winners.
Do you want the betting DG or you
Oh,
want
you want
logic? Logical.
You take it wherever you want.
All right, I'm giving
all
y'all
you know.
betting DG. I got this on
Just get money, DG.
I got this on a parlay this year.
Oh, hey,
Ravens,
show us the parlay, man.
Ravens win the AFC North. I got the Chiefs winning the AFC West. I got the Texans winning the AFC South, and then for the AFC East, I got the New York Jets winning the AFC East.
Not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick at all. I have everything, but I got to go Bills just because I want to pick the Jets, but Aaron Rodgers is so old and their left tackle.
Logically, I picked the Bills on my.
Yeah, I picked the Bills. But if you're a betting person, the Jets have obviously way more value because the defense is elite. It's going to be a top 3 unit. If Aaron Rodgers can stay on the field, they're making the playoffs and they can win the division. But I just don't trust Aaron Rodgers and the left tackle to both be available for 16, 17 games. I just don't trust it. So the defense is elite. The offensive weapons are there. They have Lazard. You have Brees Hall. You have Garrett Wilson. They have guys to get the ball to, but can they quarterback and their left tackle, the O-line in general, can they stay on the field enough for them to win games? So until somebody beats 17 in Buffalo, I got to go with the Bills, man. So same picks for me: Texans, Chiefs, Ravens in the North, and then Bills in the East for me.
All right. We'll talk about a little bit bets later on because I think we do need to have a bet segment and just talk about some of the things that we're looking for full season, and then also we can talk about anything for Thursday night too. So shifting gears to the NFC. NFC East, I do believe the Philadelphia Eagles will win this division. Cowboys are going to end up taking a step back. I like what the Eagles have done to improve their defense, or their defense. May take a second for it to gel on offense, but I'm perfectly fine betting on what they have, especially adding Saquon Barkley to their team. In the NFC South, I think it's the Falcons. It's one of those things, kind of to the Jets, but they don't have a Josh Allen in the division in the NFC South. But Falcons got to win 10 games to win this division, or otherwise, why did you pay Kirk Cousins $100 million and do all these things and trade for Matthew Judon? And go out and sign Justin Simmons. Why'd you do those things if you're not going to win the division? NFC North, a little bit of a hot take, but I do have the Packers winning this division. I like what they've done on defense. I like what they've continued to add on offense. Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur is one of the better quarterback coach combos in the league. I think they end up gelling this year. Lions can easily win it, but I am picking the Packers. And in the NFC West, I do think San Francisco did the smart thing in being able to sign Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk and getting them back in the building and saying, hey, we kind of need these guys. Ultimately, they end up winning that division. Though I will say I do like the Seattle Seahawks this year. They have pulled me back in once again. CJ, what do you have as far as the NFC divisions are concerned?
I'm gonna go Niners in the West, obviously. NFC South, I got the Falcons as well. As long as Kirk Cousins stays on the field, I think they win the division. The Bucks lost their OC; he left to go to Carolina, so I think the Bucks may take a slight step back on offense. Not major; they still have all their weapons, but overall, like you said, to all the reasons you bring in Judon, Justin Simmons, you sign Kirk, you got the ultimate insurance policy on Michael Penix, to where if he does have to miss a game, Michael Penix can manage you a game indoors to win you something. So yeah, I love the Falcons to win South. And the NFC East, I'm gonna go Philly. Dallas lost their D coordinator and Dan Quinn. They don't have an RB1. If somebody would have told you in 2018 that Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook would be on the same football team, they would have called you crazy. And we are here now.
And they would not be the best running back on that team, by the way.
Then they will not be the best. Still a crazy. When I saw that picture, mind blown from 6 years ago. That's crazy. So I got Philly, even with Sirianni's all crazy, bougie, his narcissistic self. I still got the Eagles winning the division. The defense obviously improved somewhat, even though they were terrible last year. All the weapons they added, they got Jahan Dotson for freaking nothing. The Commanders, you're freaking stupid. So I got the Eagles winning the East, and then the NFC North. God, this is so tough. This is like the East and the AFC. It's so many teams. I got to go with Detroit until somebody proves me wrong. I think it's 14 of the 17 games the Lions play are in a dome. And Jared Goff in a dome is very, very good. So I can't bet against Jared Goff indoors with all the weapons they have. Jamison Williamson looks like himself from Alabama because he was dealing with suspension and injury and trying to acclimate himself to the NFL. So J-Mo, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta, two of the better red zone targets in the NFL, who I also got in my fantasy league. Thank you very much. You have arguably the best running back duo in the league as well with David Montgomery and Gibbs. Hopefully Gibbs' hamstring injury is not too serious, but you give Goff, Ben Johnson, who's still there, who didn't take a head coaching job, those guys cohesion. They added secondary players like Arnold from Alabama. They got Davis as well from Tampa Bay. Obviously, we know the guys up front are still the same guys they had last year. Not really too much change, but they improved on the secondary. They made it to the NFC Championship game. I'm going to go with Detroit for now, but Green, very good. That would be if you're because they can definitely do it.
It's hold on.
For golf, I got to go with golf. So
okay, there you go. Gibbs will be ready to go for week 1, and they also added DJ Reader. Shout out the Lions for that as well. As far as the
they did get DJ Reader. Oh, that's a nice pickup. I like that. I like
that. Schrager is on something. We'll just say something.
Picking 3 if we team to make the playoffs. 3. We ain't getting
2. You may not get two teams in the AFC West over 500, let alone make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
That's insane.
Schrager is fucking that good week.
That was a typo. He meant to say AFC North. That's a typo. He be typing.
DG, who do you have for the NFC division winners this year?
All right, we're gonna go back to my parlay.
Let's go.
I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC East. I got the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love winning the NFC North. I think that the Packers are going to have a great year this year. I think Jordan Love is going to be in the MVP race as well. I think he turns a lot of heads this year. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the NFC South. I really don't believe that all the hype in Atlanta. I'm sorry. Just is what it is. I think you can get as many guys as you want to, but it doesn't equate to a lot. I think the Bucs are still a better team, and I think they're a more cohesive team down there. So I think the Bucs take that division, and then of course in the NFC West, it's going to be the Niners, as always. I don't think they're giving up that division anytime soon. So yeah, those are my NFC division winners.
Okay.
If they didn't lose Carlton Davis, I would pick Tampa. But he was their number one corner. I don't like that loss.
Right. No, yeah, it's understandable.
I hate that.
Yeah, I can't be mad at you one bit, honestly.
But that's a good value, though. Great pick.
Yeah. So, wild card teams in the AFC and NFC. Anything that you guys feel like stands out needs to be said from that perspective?
It's going to be
Like
the Bills.
any surprise team, I should say, or you can just give all of them if you want to.
Bills, Jets are going to be the two teams out of the East. The North is going to be Ravens, Bengals. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think. I picked the Texans, so I think the Colts
Yeah,
make
be
it
the
in
final team
this year. I think they're one of the wild card teams.
Between them and the Steelers, one of them is going to get in. Yes.
And then I think the Dolphins get back in again this year too. Their offense is truly explosive. Don't know so much about their defense, how it's going to be this year, but I think they can put up points with the best of them. So I think that keeps them in the race as well. NFC side, I still don't believe in the Falcons. Even make the wild card.
But I still don't believe.
Sorry.
Even to make it.
Yeah.
DJ, they schedule's cake though, bro. They schedule cake.
That's
Yeah.
That's
I don't know,
like
man.
Maybe
I'm probably
real
wrong.
Quarterback, bro. We ain't never seen a Falcon with a real. This is the best quarterback they've had since Matt Ryan. That was like 5 years ago.
I probably might be wrong, but still, I still haven't bought into the hype of the Falcons. NFC side, I would expect the Lions still make the playoffs. I think they'll be fighting in that division with the Packers.
That's gonna go down the last week for sure.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go down to the last week for sure. Then another team on that side too.
Cowboys missing the playoffs. You ain't gotta mention them.
Nah, I think the Cowboys get in.
I think the Cowboys end up getting in, but it's going to be very interesting.
I got the Bears taking their spot. I ain't gonna lie.
Logic. My logic.
I got the Rams and the Bears.
I can see the Bears getting it. I could literally see the NFC North probably getting 3 teams in.
For sure.
I like the Bears, Lions,
and
Packers,
the Cowboys. So. I like it.
Okay. So I because I feel like I gotta, since DG brought out the bets. So this is my favorites parlay. Chiefs, Eagles, Falcons, 49ers, and Texans. So that's a little small one. Yeah, and then I have the big one, which is Cincinnati, which would be the worst of first team because there's always one team that goes worst of first. Packers winning out over the Lions was a little bit of a coin flip. The Bills taking it with Josh Allen, and then the Colts taking it from the Texans. And I do truly believe the Colts are going to be a good team this year. If Anthony Richardson plays like I think that Anthony Richardson can play under Shane Steichen, there's a chance that they come out and take that division from the Texans as well. So yeah, and I think we'll go back to this because we have some other. Oh yeah, and then this is my other one, which is Seattle. If you want to win the division, sure, I'll take a little bit of money off of that. So you're literally plus 700 for God knows what reason. But yes, so those predictions out of the way, we kind of talked about wild cards. I mean, I have the Bears making it. I have the Cowboys making it. I think the NFC North ends up getting 3 teams because either the Lions or Packers, one of those teams wouldn't make it in. It's tough for me. I really want to find a way to get Seattle in. And I think it's still possible that they didn't get him in because I do think that McDonald's going to do really good things with that defense and offense is going to be good. Just didn't end up finding it on the schedule. So we'll see what ends up happening from that perspective. AFC, I think that the Ravens or Bengals, obviously one of those spots will go there. I think the Jets or Bills, one of those spots will end up going there. And I mean, it's tough. I think the AFC South is extremely competitive. I can see the Jaguars taking this last spot, but for now, I have the Colts, kind of taking that last wild card spot as well. So that's kind of I'm looking at the wild cards around the league. We'll hit kind of on the big ones as far as the awards are concerned. Just MVP, and offensive and deep. The difference in offensive play of the year and MVP is very trivial to me. Like, it's so dumb. It's so stupid. If you're MVP because we know it's going to be a quarterback, you should also be offensive play of the year. Just make it a non-quarterback award. Just do it because it's stupid that we have to keep having this conversation, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll do MVP. We'll do defensive player of the year. We'll do offensive player of the year. We can give the rookies of the year. I don't even want to mess with coach of the year because that's always a terrible way that they end up determining that. MVP, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, top of the heap. I think that the narrative is going to be on his side going for a three-peat, and I think he's going to have one of his better regular seasons because of the ways that we've improved the wide receiver room. The other guy that I did put some money on, both Joe Burrow. I think that he can have really good year for the Bengals. Put a little bit of money on Jordan Love as well for the MVP. Rookie of the year, I think Byron Murphy. I think he's going to have a heck of a year for Seattle. I love him in the middle of that defense playing the Madubuike role. So he's the guy that I pegged there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think it's going to be Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be very good for the Bears leading to the playoffs. It's quarterback. It's probably going to end up winning that award. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr., I think is going to have a great year too for Arizona, but they'll favor the quarterback. Offensive Player of the Year, pick anybody you want. My favorite is Bijan Robinson. I think he's going to be awesome for the Falcons this year. Defensive Player of the Year, kind of difficult. I kind of stayed away from it because I didn't know who was going to be. I could see Micah, maybe TJ Watt leading the Steelers to the playoffs because of the huge sack numbers. I honestly don't know where to go with that. So I stayed away from it. I didn't end up betting it. So what about you guys as far as and then comeback player of the year, Joe Burrow? To me, obviously Aaron Rodgers is going to be pegged as a favorite, but I think Joe Burrow is going to have a better year than Aaron Rodgers, have a better year from a team perspective, and be a quarterback coming back from injury. So I think Joe Burrow ends up getting it. CJ or DG, go ahead. Whichever one of you guys wants to give some of your award picks.
Defensive Player of the Year kind of gets rotated around. Obviously, we saw Bosa get it 2 years ago. We saw Miles get it last year. I think this is Micah Parsons' year. It's a contract year as well, so he gets paid next summer because they just paid CeeDee Lamb a week ago. So I'm going with Micah for DPOI. I think he's going to have a big year sack-wise. I think he's going to try to get his numbers up, especially with no Dan Quinn. He's going to have an influence on Zimmer, who's down there calling the defense. He'll be like, hey, yo, Zim, I need that money back. So I need you to put me on that edge. No more dropping in coverage. So I got Micah DPOI, OPOI. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. He should have got it last year, in my opinion. Obviously, no disrespect to CMC. He had 23 touchdowns, but if Tyreek Hill finishes the season, doesn't miss a game, he gets 2,000 yards. So I think he's going for that. He wants that. He knows he's never going to win the Super Bowl again. So he wants his numbers. He wants a new contract extension. So obviously, I think Tyreek Hill gets OPOI. MVP, definitely going with Patty. He has the history on his side, the mantra on his side, and a value pick would be for me would be Josh Allen or Jordan Love. I think this is the year maybe the media kind of feels bad for Josh Allen, and if he does the craziness with winning that division 5 times in a row with losing Diggs is going to help his storyline even more. So him and Jordan Love would be my 2 value picks for betting wise, but I'm gonna probably bet on Mahomes for sure. And offensive rookie of the year, Caleb, that's a lock. Defensive rookie of the year is tough. I like Latu. I like Latu out of Indy. He can mess around and have a lot of sacks in there. Obviously, you're playing next to Buckner. A lot of good guys up in there front. They're going to be pass rushing a lot because they're not really going to stop the run too well. So playing next to Grover as well. So Latu would probably be a good value pick for me. Besides the other guys, but yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Latu.
Yeah, MVP for me is something I kind of went back and forth on. I think this could be. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I'm gonna say this year it's gonna be co-MVPs. I'm gonna say it's split between Josh Allen and Jordan Love. I think both of those guys ended up having great years this year. And I think they split the MVP this year. I don't think we had co-MVPs in a while. So
I was literally like, when was the last time we had co-MVP?
I think
it was McNabb and it was McNabb. Lord Jesus, it was McNary and Manning in 2003.
2003.
So the co-MVP is back.
Manning too. Okay.
Right, 2 quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, sharing the with that one. Defensive player of the year, I think it's gonna be Michael Parsons. I think this is his year to to win it. I think he's been kind of playing in the shadows about it for a minute now. So I think what CJ said with the switch of defensive coordinator, I think that Michael Parsons ended up putting a lot of more sack numbers up this year as well. Offensive player of the year, I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes. Say he still has a great year as well too, but probably not as if it's not as good as Josh Allen and Jordan Love, then he ends up getting offensive player of the year. Offensive rookie of the year, I'm gonna say Caleb Williams. I think that's a lock. I think if he leads them to the playoffs, then he's obviously think the award is going to be pretty
This
much
4,000 yards is plus money too if y'all want to go.
Yeah, right. And which is something the Bears quarterback hasn't done in a century.
Break the mantra. Break it.
And then defensive rookie of the year. This may be a bold prediction as well. Might get slandered for this later, but I'm going with Jaden Hicks. I think he leads all DBs in interceptions this year. I think I think Jaden Hicks comes in and has a huge impact on this defense, and yeah, man, I think he is a win it.
So he'd have to be a starting safety at this point,
and which means if Justin Reed doesn't play, you guys will be very happy.
I didn't say that,
you guys. I don't say you.
I didn't say that.
I'm already blocked.
I did not. You see, and that's why I held back.
I didn't say it.
I didn't say it. So if you
did
see
y'all
this,
their face? Y'all saw their face. They went like this.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say nothing.
They both went like this.
I just said that Hicks has to start. Okay.
I didn't say anything.
They both said like this.
Look.
Shout out Jay Reed. Shout out Jay Hicks, bro.
Yeah, I know you be looking at the timeline, brother. I did not say that.
I don't hate Justin Reed.
I don't.
I promise you, I don't.
I'm fighting for your life.
I promise I don't hate Justin Reed, man.
Oh God,
I promise I don't.
Shout out Jay Reed, man.
Yeah, shout out to
Justin
Reed.
Time, man. We had an amazing.
I love our safety room. Best safety room in the league. Stop playing. Best safety room in the league. No fly zone.
But yeah, man, that's my award picks. Comeback player of the year.
Oh yeah, comeback player of the year. Joe Burrow got that. As long as he stays healthy.
Yeah.
As long as he don't, if he get hurt, it's Rodgers. So
you know, hey, Chuck's in the chat. You know that they're gonna do some foolishness and try and get Aaron Rodgers that award.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see. If he has a great year,
Joe Burrow misses a game, Aaron Rodgers is gonna win. The minute he misses a game,
but I think Burrow's numbers are gonna end up overwhelming.
As long as Burrow plays, it's his to lose. But as soon as he messes up, it's Rodgers. So.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun season to say the least. I'll say so. I did do a parlay of Mahomes for MVP, Burrow for comeback player of the year, and Williams to win rookie of the year. Nice little thing. We'll see. Obviously, Mahomes winning that, and then my long shot as far as the awards are concerned, Byron Murphy, which him being plus 1,400 is crazy as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why he's that much of a long shot, but I'll take it. And then Joe Burrow plus 1,000 to win MVP. So. I knew Chuck was going to comment. And then the other one was I did make a parlay about making the playoffs, which I'm concerned about the Steelers from this perspective, but we'll see what ends up happening. With all 7 of those teams, I'm also concerned about the Seahawks. I'll see, but we'll see what ends up happening. Both those teams, I still think will be over 500 and be in the mix. But yeah, so all that being said, we did go through awards ultimately. I mean, I'm just extremely excited as far as the games are concerned. I did want to. That's the one thing I almost forgot to do. So obviously we do have week 1. Red Zone is going to be on Sunday. We know obviously the Packers and the Eagles are a premier matchup as far as week 1 is concerned coming up. But I will ask you guys as far as the games on Sunday, and I'm going to pull them up right here so you guys can see them. What are you guys most looking forward to as far as a matchup is concerned?
Rams and Lions. Sunday night.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the old one.
Boy, that's last year.
Yeah,
I was about to say, wait, no, that's
boy,
not.
that's last year.
I was like Rams and Bears. Wait, that's not
Rams and Lions. I would say I'm really looking forward to, and then
that was weird.
Rams Lions for sure. Colts Texans my other good matchup. I'm excited.
Texans should be a good one. There was another game.
I gotta see the schedule. There's another game I'm excited about.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to pull it up.
It's actually Monday night is what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, Niners Jets.
Niners Jets. Yeah, that is going to be fun to see. There it is. I pulled it up. I would say Texans Colts for me. That's the one that I'm going to be watching heavily. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, Chargers Raiders. That's going to be that's a money game. Ooh,
you're excited for the Chargers and Raiders,
bro. I want to see Devontae Adams have a field day. He hate them boys.
Yeah,
snap on the Chargers.
He cooks the Chargers every time.
He cooks them every time, but they was talking trash too.
Their quarterback is Gardner Minshew. How much?
That's why he gonna let it fly. Minshew mania, baby. I mean,
John
Colts
Harbaugh
Browns
can
gonna be a
do
good.
that,
I mean,
man.
Cowboys Browns gonna be a good game too. That'll be a good game.
But no,
long
yeah,
as-
Texans, Colts, and sneaky shootout potential. Cardinals, Bills.
Yep.
Bills defense could be taking a step back. Even Cardinals have done enough on the offensive line that I think it'll be fine. I think the Cardinals are going to have a really fun offense, and their defense is going to be terrible. I think Josh Allen will find ways to get after them. And I look forward to Seattle beating the ever-loving crap out of the Broncos. I'm looking forward to that, to be honest with you. I just hope that it's an absolute dragon. Really looking forward to this.
Mike Evans about to have a career day on the Commanders.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll tell you
bet
two
it.
games I ain't watching. That's the Commanders and Bucks and Giants and Vikings.
Matter of fact, I'm about to give y'all a game because I didn't put this parlay on my phone. I'm gonna give y'all a free game. $100 receiver, 3 legs right now. Devontae Adams is getting 100 yards on the Chargers. Bet that right now. Mike Evans is getting 100 yards on the Commanders. Bet that right now. The third one,
Easy money.
it's a spicy one, but he did do it last year, but he got more weapons. Nico Collins for 100 yards. Colts DBs are bad too. 3 legs probably get you really good money if you want to put that together real quick.
Let's go.
It should be really good odds. Nico, Devontae, and Mike Evans.
I was about to say I forgot that you guys can actually see my screen, so that helps. Wait, what was the?
So you had Devontae Adams 100.
Yeah, Devontae Adams.
Devontae for
Mike
100.
Evans
Mike
100.
Evans.
Oh wait, no, where's the alt line? There it is. All right,
There we go.
Yeah.
100 plus.
Tay.
That's a good start.
Good one. Nico,
yeah. Get this all up. He said, "Let me
go ahead and lock that in.
260. That's another good one. What was the last one?
Mike
Evans.
I'm gonna lock that in.
And that game that God knows nobody wants to watch.
All them secondaries are trash.
That they are. So let's see. Hey, plus 41. Put you a little 10 on there. Get you.
Hey, you dig me?
There you go.
Hey, DG, go ahead and put 20 on that. Get wifey something nice. Tell it.
There you go. You can get something really nice out of that one right there.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that's what we got, man. We went through the awards, went through our actual picks. I don't think we're gonna be doing anything to track throughout the season. We'll see. Maybe we end up doing something to track throughout the season. We'll see what ends up happening. But yes, obviously the game picks as well. All picking the Chiefs Thursday night. Anything before we go ahead and get on out of here and get ready for week 1, man?
Be on the lookout for me and CJ. The betting show is coming. Bet the house. We'll be up and
Discord
running
on the way
here.
too.
Yeah.
Discord link coming soon.
Getting that going soon too. A lot
link
of people.
in my bio. Stop playing.
CJ has been just had the hot
I've been waiting all
hand
year
for
to
a
say
minute.
that. I ain't never get to say that.
So definitely be on the lookout for the Discord and the podcast as well too coming up. So
if you want to make some money, come holler at me.
All right, sounds good. But yeah, so I will be having a game preview that I did with the Ravens fan coming out. So do make sure you check out. I'll be tweeting out the link to that DMAC Wake 316 on Twitter to be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, man, looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun week 1 to say the least. Anything else before we get out? I think we're good to go. But yeah, hey, another banner's dropping, another season. History is on the line as far as the 3-peat is concerned. And truthfully, we've got the football Michael Jordan on our side, so I feel really good about that outcome ending up in our future favor as well. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's late. Let's go ahead and get on out of here, man. For Tell the Truth, yours truly, D-Mac, DG, CJ. Football's back, baby. I'm excited.
yeah,
Peace out and go Chiefs, man.